This week on Thursdays with Rob and Paul, we did something completely different, something we've never done before. First of all, there was no Rob. He will be back. But we did a call-in show. We got everybody on our Discord to call in with questions about their life, their love, their jobs. And we found some really amazing people to talk about their depression, about their wants, advice in the business. We talked about even the worlds that I really, really loved. And let's start off with this first question from someone who wanted to know how to make it in the business.
Maybe about a month ago, a little less than a month ago,
Okay.
we were doing Quiplash,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked you what I should do in terms of pursuing game show related content.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have an update for you.
Okay.
Good update. You suggested to go on TikTok and do a daily trivia question,
Yes.
which I did do for about 2 weeks until Thanksgiving happened. And then I kind of got out of rhythm.
Okay.
Stopped doing that. But since then,
Thanksgiving really took it out of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said I was going to come back there after Thanksgiving. Never came back.
Okay.
It's not too late.
Never.
Am I still too hot?
No, you're good. I'm trying to figure out how to get the volume levels better. I think it's not you per se. It's just the way.
Well, I changed my input and Discord to make it a little less.
I think it's gonna be great. I think we're gonna do it. I think this is all good. All right.
Brandon, I'm so happy to hear that you started a TikTok. Like, I hope you will share your
Well,
handle.
I'm actually doing something even cooler now.
Okay, what do you got?
I think it's the next level.
Okay,
So,
what's the next level?
I'm a fan of there's a few people on YouTube,
okay,
like Defunctland and Theme Park History, who do these like mini documentaries on
Sure.
theme park rides.
Love it.
They're amazing. So I've been thinking for a long time, and it only ramped up recently, due to different computer-related circumstances, that
Yeah.
I thought I should do this, but for game shows. Just swap out theme park rides for different game shows.
Okay,
So
so
I
you're
am
going to be
currently-
a game show historian.
Yes, exactly.
I
So
love it.
I am about to record the voiceover for my first script
Wow,
tomorrow.
Brandon, very exciting.
And I haven't completely snagged up the YouTube channel yet. I haven't made made an actual video editing yet, but it is something I am committed to doing. I've already written a script. I'm writing the next script now. In the meantime of waiting for my friend to help finish edit the first script. So
Brandon, you're
things are
doing great.
happening.
I am so thrilled that you are joining. Like, you're figuring out a way to get your voice out there. I love it. We're a fan of this. I'm going to tell you this much. Don't bite off more than you can chew. It sounds like you went from doing a very simple thing that you could not complete for more than 2 weeks to something that's massive. That seems like you can constantly put obstacles in front of yourself that you'll never get to. Like, you haven't gotten the YouTube channel yet. You should do that by the end of the show. I'm going to challenge you right now that by the end of the show, you can secure that YouTube channel. I want you to go there, open up a different tab, and get that, because I want to see you get these things. I want to see you. I think you can do both things at the same time, honestly.
No, I agree too. It's just something I fell off. The TikTok thing was something I fell off. If I had this idea, and I know it's ambitious, but I figured out a way how to do it that works for me.
Okay.
To make it not as big as an undertaking, like break it down, and I'm still figuring out my process of doing it.
Sure.
But otherwise, I'm really excited about it, because they say, you know this, if they're not, it's like when they do a product.
Right.
If the product you want to see isn't there, you make the product. If the show isn't on TV that you want to watch, make the show you want to see. So this is what I'm kind of doing. I don't really see many people doing game show in-depth stuff like this.
I love this. I mean, I love what you're doing. I love that you are passionate about this. All I want to do, and I think that you're doing great since the beginning that we met you, you're doing everything good, but you want to be a game show host, right? That's what you really want to do.
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually. But right now, what you're doing is you're becoming a documentarian, right?
Yeah, but this is my best way to engage with
that
my
fan
love of
base
game shows without having to deal with the BS of Hollywood.
Okay. I want to Do you
Oh,
think it's good,
sorry.
Molly?
I was
No,
gonna
go
say
ahead.
it's.
Yeah.
I think it is a smart idea for now for Brandon to be focusing on learning more about this field that he's going to get
Yeah.
into. I have
Yeah.
a feeling I know where you're going to go, Paul, where it's like put your energy into building the actual career, the
Yeah.
actual dream goal. And I agree with you on that. But sometimes that's not possible to happen right now, especially in
100%.
these times.
Oh,
Hmm
100%.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to like launch a game show, right? Very hard to launch
Yeah.
a game show. And I'm not asking you to launch a
Yeah.
game show. I'm just saying, can you do two things simultaneously? Can you flex that muscle? Can you bring up the TikTok again? Don't get down on yourself. One question a day. Get that on. You could be doing that. That's easy. That's you picking up your
Yeah.
phone for 30 seconds a day, knocking that out. And then be doing this giant other project of making these mini documentaries, which requires editing and getting footage and making sure that it's not taken down because you don't have the rights to that footage. And I love that
Yeah,
you're writing these
exactly.
things, but that's like when you say that to me, I'm like, that's going to be a big challenge, which will be great, but also
Yeah.
do some simple challenges too. I'm 1,000,000% behind the idea. I think the idea is great. I want to watch it. What's the first episode going to be about?
The first episode that is going to launch hopefully by the end of the month is the history of the Sunday Fun and Games ABC block that kicked off the whole summer fun and winter fun and games thing that they're doing now. So kind of like the backstory is Steve Harvey takes over Family Feud.
Okay.
The guy in charge at ABC thinks it would be great in prime time. That happens, then they bring in Match Game Pyramid, and the
I
rest is
love it.
history.
By the way, now are you going to feature me in my appearance on the Sunday Fun Day Family Feud episode where look, I'm not going to brag, but I got to brag a little bit that I broke the I broke the Family Feud glass ceiling, if you will, which was I didn't bring on a family. I said I just want to bring on my friends who are fans of the show and comedians, and they're like, we've never done that before. Yes, they brought on people from The Bachelor. They brought on people from the same show. They've done that, but they never just brought on a group of people. And the show is called Funny Guys versus Funny Girls. So I think that in the Family Feud history, Celebrity Family Feud history, we have a special spot in that because after that, and we did that, they now do that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
no,
there you
for
go.
sure. I will mention that because I love you. I wasn't originally planning on
Look,
mentioning
it's
it.
just
It's just because
a good
that
aside.
happened later in the run.
Okay, got it.
Later
Okay.
in the run. Because I'm kind of trying to go
I
chronology.
got you. By the way, we did. Just somebody was commenting about Funny Guys, Funny Girls. Not our choice. We were originally going to be UCB versus the Groundlings, and then they were like, "We don't want that. We want it to be more general. So why don't you put all the girls on one team and all the guys on the other team?" And we made Steve Harvey fall over from laughter. They will never be able to air the episode of Family Feud that we did because it was so not offensive. Well, yeah, I guess it might have been offensive. We were playing for Planned Parenthood, and I would say 75% of our jokes were about abortions, and it was for ABC at Sunday night dinner time.
Yeah,
And,
prime time.
Yeah. So yeah, those got cut out. But
Yeah.
I still think a lot of funny stuff remains. Nicole Byers there. Nicole Byers is a great new special. I love this idea. I'm into this. I want to know more about it. You've intrigued me. Here's the thing. Get that YouTube channel tonight. Don't cost nothing. Just get that name. All right. I love that you're writing your new script. You're not waiting around for the next thing. You can write a whole season right now before you get anything. I love that. And I want you to go back to that TikTok thing because even if it doesn't lead to anything, even if you get 10 people to watch it, you are still honing your game show hosting skills, which is where you want to be. And now you want to be an authority on it. And maybe you can figure out a way to do this documentary the way that you might do a game show. Maybe that's a way you could do this. Maybe that's your fun way of doing it. You host
like a quiz at the end.
Or you host it like a game show. Like, hey, so over here we have ABC, and what they, you could do fun. I don't know. Maybe there's some in there. Maybe there's something there to intrigue yourself. You get yourself on camera. You want to be on camera? Get yourself on camera. All right.
Yeah, I'm doing the off-camera thing just to start out on, but it's gonna evolve.
Okay.
It's gonna evolve.
All right. I love everybody here in the chat. People who are in the chat are having ideas here as well. Okay.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you, chat. Well, we're back over here. Molly, it's starting to work. Everything's starting to work. Everything that we planned on is starting to work. And it's going to, I mean, look, we had some highs and lows. I didn't expect an update was going to come in here and upend the entire the entire process. But I will
No,
tell you this.
I love to hear from Brandon. I don't know how that conversation began. I was gone for that, but
Basically,
I'm
Brandon stopped doing his TikTok, and now he's getting
okay.
into doing mini documentaries. And we were just talking
Hmm.
about making sure that we complete a task because he said around Thanksgiving he gave up on his TikTok. But this is kind of the
Okay.
thing that we want. That was kind of an update with Brandon because Brandon's been on the show a lot. Who do we have next, Molly? Who do we have that has a question?
Sure.
And if you want to jump
This
in, everyone can jump in. If you've never been on Discord, it's easy, it's free. It takes 30 seconds to sign up. You can jump in the chat and do the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll put the link to the Discord in the chat, and then you're just going to want to navigate towards the channel called Paul's Stage. Raise your hand, and I'll pop you up.
Perfect.
Okay, this is Vawal. Hi, Vawal.
Hi. I've actually never tuned into this show before, just a huge How Does This
Amazing.
Get Made fan. But I love listening to the mini episodes and hearing you guys talk and everything. So I was like, ooh, there aren't too many people on here. I might as well
This
jump
is
in.
it. Get in. You
So,
get in. Well, this is the
Welcome.
first time we've ever done anything like this. So welcome here.
yeah.
I'm excited. What's going on in your life? What's happening with you?
Well, I just moved from bumfuck nowhere to the city. And I'm 23, and I was moving from my parents' house, and this is the second time that I've moved out from them. The first time was right before the pandemic.
Okay.
Oh,
And where
Yeah,
did you move out?
so
You moved out right before the pandemic. Where did you did you go to the city?
well, so give you a little idea. I'm in the Maryland area. I
Okay,
was
got it.
out in the county, and I went kind of towards Annapolis,
Okay.
and I was there. I graduated college the spring before the pandemic began,
Okay.
so that's when I moved out. And then I was structurally terminated for being disabled. And
Whoa.
yeah,
Wait, can you talk?
I'm like,
I just have never heard that term before. Can you explain
oh,
that?
so
Yeah.
basically they made me like they made it so that they made conditions so horrible for me that I would want to quit because they didn't want
Wow.
to fire me.
Oh my God.
oh
And you
boy.
saw it happening. That is awful. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thanks. I'm like actually at an amazing place in my career right now, which is
Great.
really cool. Like I'm loving my new job that I have, and I'm loving that I have a 10-minute commute to the office instead of a 40-minute one. Makes a huge
Look,
difference in
that's
my
it. That's
life.
karma working for you right there. That's amazing. So COVID, while bad, at the same time you move out, you move back in, you get a better job. Things are working great, and now you're in the big city and you're close to the city.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm like I'm trying to make it, but the thing that I kind of wanted to ask you about, if I got
Yeah,
the chance to, which
please.
I'm so excited that I do,
Okay. I hope it's yeah.
is
Nervous.
well, so I love making people laugh,
Okay.
and I'm in Baltimore now, which is not like I don't know. I'm trying to get into doing more like theater or improv or
Yeah.
just stuff like that because I sang in a choir back in the like where my parents lived, and we just
Yeah.
had our Christmas concert. So
Okay.
like I've got my my quiet things that I do, like drawing for my emotional outlets because I'm a social worker. So
Oh,
all
amazing.
day,
Okay.
every day, all I do is emotion. So
Yeah.
I just want to come home and turn off my brain and laugh at dumb shit, which is
Yeah.
why How Did This Get Made is amazing. Like
I love
someone
it.
that and so like I kind of got into a funk having trouble writing creatively like during college.
Yeah.
And writing creatively has never been something that comes easily to me. I'm more of a talker.
Okay.
So but I basically I'm trying to like figure out if I should like try and join an improv troupe or like see if
I
I
love
can
this. Yeah.
like
Okay.
book a comedy show or like try and do theater. Like just what do you think that like I should be doing? Because like I don't know if I like want to change careers, but it's something that I have considered, but I
I love
kind
it.
of think it would be way too
No,
hard.
okay.
But
First of all, I love everything you're saying. And I think, first and foremost, you have a great job. You're enjoying what you're doing. You're happy with where you're at. And if you want to pursue something more creative, you don't have to like quit that job right
yeah.
now, right? Like if you hit a tremendous amount of success, you can walk over that bridge when you get to it. Like you get that. But here's what I'll say. You I think, yeah, do whatever calls to you. Like booking a comedy show seems big and hard to me, because that means you have to have a lot of connections. You got to make sure people are coming out there. Now, maybe you do. I don't know. But getting involved in a scene where, for example, if there is an improv group out there, and Baltimore, like in the grand scheme of things, that feels like there is a community, there's an energy there, there's probably some comedy things that you can get involved with there. If it is
Yeah,
improv.
there's definitely like a lot of small theaters and
Yeah.
stuff. But like I'm still like I'm just not exactly sure what I want to do, because what I know is I love making people laugh, but like
Yeah.
I didn't really do very much high school theater. I did like musicals growing up and stuff, but what
Well,
I
yeah.
am very comfortable on stage and talking in front of people.
Well, then this is what I'll
But
say.
I don't know how to make the connection. Like I'm
Well,
just
okay,
trying to
this is
make
great.
that jump, basically.
All right. Well, then this is what I'll say. If you're going to do improv, before you can get up on stage, ultimately in improv, you're going to have to take classes. You're going to have to get involved in some sort of community, and there will be, from 0 to 100, there's going to be a lot of steps in between. Stand up, that doesn't really happen. Like, you can go to an open mic show or a bringer show, and my friend is doing open mics at noon every day. There's a place here in LA, and it's really just an open mic. You pay $5, you watch, a handful of comedians, and it's all comedians for comedians. But he's getting up on stage, he's doing it. So it's very easy in the grand scheme of things to like get into stand up, because you write it by yourself, you perform it by yourself. The only thing you're really, I think, dealing with is the time commitment of, am I going to go out and do this all the time? Because I think to do stand up, you have to be committed to it on some level. And maybe the first time you do it, it's great. And maybe the second time you do it, it's terrible. And the third time you do it, it's awful, worse than the second. But then the fourth time you do it, it's as good as the first. So like, like you have to like be able to ride those waves. So don't like be down on yourself. What I would say is this. Go to the comedy clubs. Like, that may be the best way in at this point. Go to comedy clubs, watch what some local people are doing, watch some stand-up specials, and start to write your bits. And you don't, there was a great a comedian had a great thing, which I always like remember when I try to talk to people about stand-up, because I've only done a little bit of stand-up, which is never. Well, look, there's two ways of doing it. There's comedians who write down things word perfect. It's like they have it all structured beat by beat, word by word. It sounds to me like you might be a person who wants a little bit more of that free
I couldn't
form.
do that.
Yeah. So if you have like these areas that you want to talk about, like say you want to talk about whatever the, watermelons or whatever it is. Yeah. You start to maybe you have a notepad and you just write down all your funny thoughts about that. And then when you go up there, okay, this is my area. This is where I'm building. And then you see what works and what doesn't work. And you can keep on like refilling it and stuff like that. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it did. And like, this is going to be a super weird comparison, but in college, when I stopped having stage fright was the first time that I ever did a public health presentation, when I was working on this like sexual offense support helpline. And my very first presentation that I did about bystander intervention was to a full fraternity in their fraternity house with one other girl.
I love it. But by the way, this
and by the way, standing up there in front of 60 people, and like I had to learn how to make frat boys laugh and listen to me.
I mean, an impossible task. I think, by the way, I think you would have a great time there. But I think there's a couple of things that you have to do, and this is the advice that I always give. There's no path to success. I can't tell you do X, Y, and Z and it will work. Everyone gets there in a very different way. But the one thing I can always say, the one universal thing about all of this is it is about community, it's about the friendships, and it's about the commitment. So to me, it's about you finding your place. Like, I went to one comedy club. I thought they were kind of lame. I went to another comedy club. Oh, that's not for me. Then I like this comedy club. I like the vibe here. You start hanging out there. You make friends there. You find out what's going on. Like, you have to build that community, because that community will support you. And then you could maybe build to make your own show. You can get up on stage. But I think the only rules that I always have are just like, find that community. Find that place where you feel like you fit. And you're in Baltimore, which everyone in the chat is saying is a great thriving spot for stuff like this. So I think that's awesome. I love it. And by the way, if you want to like do a play or a show, or I don't know, like it's so big, but stand up is a great place to start, because there are tons of open mics and you can totally suck and you'll be with people who totally suck. Like, people don't, I mean, not that that's it, but it's like that feeling of just knowing, like, I can get up there, the pressure, I can get better. People have seen people get better, it's like, but you will find your
like
voice.
other people in this room have bombed too. Like,
yes, you're gonna watch them, and you know what, and the thing is like, you got to, just do that work, do those reps. I think that would be great. I would love to see you come back, and I would love to hear what happens. But but again, we're in COVID, so it's tricky, right? It's like,
well, but
okay.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Please.
this is also COVID is also a gift in a way. You could Will Hines has his comedy school here on Twitch.
Oh,
you could watch improv on Twitch. You could watch you can be connected to other bigger comedy towns in ways that you might not be in normal times.
Yeah.
I love it. I think your first move should be look at Will Hines' Twitch thing, because that's here. That's easy. And then just start writing down ideas, things that make you laugh. Just carry a notebook in your pocket. Adam McKay, when he was directing our sketch show, and now you don't have to have a notebook, you just have to have a cell phone. But like, just have a little notes app open. And whenever something funny happens, or you have a thought that you think is funny, write it down and just keep on writing it down. Like, make sure you hit that notepad like 10 times a day. And some stuff you'll never go back to, and the good stuff will rise to the top. But if you start doing it like that, not like, I'm going to sit down now after work and write my comedy. Like, I think that's kind of like, then that makes like, well, that, I think the best stuff comes from when you're in the moment and you're seeing stuff. So I would say just make that the active part. Like tomorrow, anytime you have a funny thought, just write it down. Just keep on writing down funny thoughts. And they don't have to be bigger than, going back to my hilarious watermelon pitch, like you just be like, oh, that why is it so expensive? There's nothing there. I mean, I don't know what that's not it. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
sounds like a Seinfeld bit.
There you go. I mean, this is what you get when I'm just riffing on watermelons. But you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you see, if you watch a show, if you see a thought, you see something, I think that's gonna help you get comfortable and just start writing.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
I love it. Well, you're awesome. Thanks so much for calling in. And all right, well, this is great, Molly. It's going good. All right, who's next? Who do we got next? And Molly, I feel like I've cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you off. Please jump in if I'm being too harsh, or not harsh, but like too definitive.
Verbose. I'm gonna pull in Ribfest, but as I do, I want to tell you, Paul, over in the Stage Chat channel, Brandon did a new TikTok and got the YouTube channel.
Boom.
Good job, Brandon.
Great job, Brandon. That's what I want to see, that kind of initiative. Brandon has been on an upward trajectory since the first day we met him, and I can't wait to see what happens with Brandon. All right, great.
There is Ribfest. Hi, Ribfest.
Hi there. How's everybody doing?
Good. I just want to call out quickly that 6 Cowballs said they should make a watermelon coconut hybrid. And look, there's a lot of great watermelon jokes going on in this chat right here. I mean, we have a whole Seinfeld routine, and I feel like if you want to add into some of this watermelon humor here in the chat, please do. All right. So, what was your name again? I'm sorry.
It's Tom. Ribfest is my streaming channel.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, welcome, Tom.
Thank you. So I think I'm a first-time listener, so very nice to be here.
Nice this is the first time we've ever done this thing. Normally it's me and Rob people. We're interviewing guests.
Then it is a good time to come in.
Yeah, we're doing different things. We try different things on this channel all the time. So yes, all right. What do you got?
Well, I got a story I think you're gonna like, and I think it dovetails nicely out of I'm sorry, I misheard it. Vawal's story, which is you never know how things are gonna happen for you. And my story revolves around the fact that how did this get made got me to where I am in my career right now.
Whoa, tell me how that is possible.
Yeah, it's actually possible, and there is a very clear through line. I first started listening around the time of the Sleepaway Camp episode, the seminal, the classic.
Yes, the classic
episode. Loved that episode. I listened to it before I watched the movie.
Well,
which is not the preferred order, but that's the way it went. It's the double-edged sword to learning about these things through the show.
Most people can get by without ever having watched a How Did This Get Made movie, but Sleepaway Camp, the level of confusion that we had, I can only imagine that hearing it and not having any frame of reference, was really difficult. Yeah.
Well, so that episode really just made me fall in love with that movie, and I was living in New Hampshire at the time. That's where I'm from, and an actor friend of mine was like, "Hey, they need somebody to do like special effects on this like local." This local horror movie. Is there any like? Can you do that? And I do not. I edit. I do. I'm a video person. I'm a filmmaker, but I don't do visual effects. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like I can try. What's it for?
Yeah.
Oh, it's this slasher movie that stars the stars of Sleepaway Camp.
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, what? And it's like, yeah, this guy in Massachusetts is making this super low budget horror movie starring Angela, Ricky, and Max Sorrentino, who played Little, the cousin. Or sorry, not the cousin. Jesus Christ, I can't. Oh boy, Angela before she was a boy.
Got it. Okay, sure.
Yeah. So the three of them are starring in this movie, and I'm like, okay, I would get to go to the set for a day and meet these random people from this movie I just heard about. That would be cool. I go to the set, I meet them. That's very fun. I end up editing the movie, and I make a relationship with the filmmaker of that. He brings me on to his next movie as the DP. Again, he was just kind of pulling in whoever he could get at this point.
Yeah, wow. Wow, what a crazy. So you went in, wait, did you say you went in for special effects, then you edited, and then you became a DP?
I got brought in for visual effects, which the visual effects were like putting like smoke on a lake. That was it.
Got it. Okay.
And then the editor dropped out and he was like, hey, do you want to edit this movie? I was like, yeah, sure. And then after that, I shot and edited his next movie. On that movie, I met an actor who I kept in touch with. That fall of 2015, I moved to LA. That actor put me in touch with somebody that got me a job doing assistant editing work for sci-fi on films such as To Lava, To Lantula, Earth Catastrophe, and Drone Wars. That job got me in the door at IGN, which is
IGN
where
yes. Whoa,
yeah.
Look at this. Holy shit. And you're totally right. You know, this is the whole thing. I'm not going to derail you, but I will say that, you know, I was talking about this with somebody else the other day. Sometimes we always are looking, and I'm guilty of this too. You look at what the job in front of you is. And if the job in front of you is like, oh, do you want to work with like the people who are in Sleepaway Camp to make like a low budget horror movie like that? Well, no, I want to work for IGN. And then you don't take that opportunity and you can't get to the place that you want to get. Like, I think that people want to jump all those steps, you know, or you do these things. And it's like, you never know what a job will give you. And I feel like I had this conversation with a friend the other day. The roundabout ways that I've gotten my best jobs have all been because of relationships. Going back to the idea of community and building your community and building these relationships. It's not just like one amazing offer was like slapped on the table for me. It was like, no, like I had a bunch of different little weird things that I didn't think made a difference, that I didn't think anyone saw, that I didn't think anyone cared about. And those are the things that actually have connected me to so much bigger projects.
Yeah, you never. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I was going to say, to bring it back to what Vawal was saying, like Paul, you know, I've been working with Paul for a couple of years and it's been phenomenal, and working on Friend Zone has been great. And I met Paul through a friend of a friend that I met from live comedy theater here in town. So it's just a matter of like, I can't tell you how many nights I was in that theater, like pretty much many times a week. I met so many people, but it was just an amalgamation of that experience where I met somebody.
And I will tell you this much: there was a moment Molly and I had an interview, and then I hired somebody. Like my gut was to hire Molly, but then I was forcibly pulled in a different direction, and I hired that person. And that did not work out. And then my immediate thought was, I need to get Molly. I got to figure out how to get Molly. And I made that phone call to get Molly. And that was but it was also like, again, like people remember you. People think about you. Like there's certain things that are at play that you don't always know this is all just positivity, right? We're basically the Ted Lasso. This is like not a helpline. This is just basically like, let's do it,
Believe,
people.
baby.
Yeah. Believe.
Believe.
But no, that was really, really great. And I'm gonna answer this, Percy Joe. It had nothing to do with June. The person I picked had nothing to do with June. As a matter of fact, I think that June was a Molly fan before I hired Molly. So there you go. How about that? Yeah, it was.
Sorry,
just,
I missed. What happened with June?
No, somebody thought like, did June say I couldn't hire Molly? And it was not that. I basically just had a friend who gave me a little bit of pressure about the person that I interviewed, and they're like, please, please. And I was like, okay, great. And that's
Paul, I feel like I knew that it would end up working out for us, but I also kind of thought when you called me, you were gonna like recommend me to in front of yours, So it's just a matter of making all these connections. Like, make connections.
You
with
never know where
everybody.
it's going to come
Make
from.
connections. I love it.
You never know. You just got to pay attention, and that's kind of what how could we have imagined? I didn't even think I would be talking to you on Discord here today, and I think I'll kind of tie this all the way. We're gonna start we're gonna memento it. We're gonna go back to the beginning a little bit. The kind of funny thing in all this, Paul, I actually the first time I scouted out moving to LA in 2015, in May of 2015, I actually ran into you in a parking lot, which literally only just came back to me in the middle of telling you this story.
Was I nice?
You were on the phone. I shook your hand in a parking lot like north of LA.
Okay.
Yeah, and you were very nice, even though you're on the phone. You said hi. So yeah, basically this was all just to come in and tell you this very strange story of how the Sleepaway Camp episode of How Did This Get Made got me a job reviewing movies and doing super cool shit at IG.
Well, but before I let you go, what should we be watching?
Sir.
What should we be watching? You're reviewing super cool movies. I imagine you've seen a couple of movies that are coming out or that are out right now. I actually did an interview with IGN last night because
hilarious
for MacGruber. Yeah, I'm not in MacGruber. I just went to go see MacGruber.
That's so funny. I am. So movies that people may have missed in the last couple of years that they should definitely check out.
All right.
Color Out of Space is the movie that I suggest to everybody. It's a Nicolas Cage starring Lovecraft adaptation. It is basically like an acid trip, and it is peak insane Cage. I feel like you guys are going to cover it on the show at some point.
Yes. No, this is the movie that it looks like Mandy. It was actually directed by the director of The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Correct.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Richard Stanley.
Yeah.
Yes. So definitely check that out. Another horror movie that a lot of people missed this year was In the Earth, directed by Ben Wheatley. Really, really good. Another trippy horror movie that plays on COVID-related fears. And the third act is basically a mushroom trip.
All right, let me ask you one question.
Yes, sir.
Unfiltered, what was your thought about Cowboy Bebop, the Netflix? This is what the chat wants to know. What did you think about Cowboy Bebop, the live action remake on Netflix? Did you watch it? Did you review it? If you didn't, then that's fine.
I freelance for Netflix. So I've got there is a whole second side of the.
I don't want to. I got say no more. And all right, and then they're fine. And your final.
We're on the same page.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah.
You're all right. So
but
deep in the earth.
Just wanted to come by and tell you that.
All right. Well, that's awesome. This is great chatting with you.
You too.
Perfect.
Paul.
All right. Thanks, everybody. It was great.
Thank you, Ripfest.
Thank you,
Ripfest. Yeah, Molly, I don't think I've ever really. I don't know if I ever told you that. That was the whole thing. Like I really wanted to hire you, and then I had a friend who, a nice, good friend who really, I felt like I was doing a favor, and it was another example. And this is like I was talking to June, and we're talking about a lot of this stuff right now, so I think it ties in. She's like, "You should trust your gut," and I was like, "I know, but I also feel like I should be like." Help my friend, and it was like, look, I'm in the right. Yeah. But listen, it was.
First of all, trust your gut. No hard feelings, Paul. At all.
No. I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm just no. But I'm saying like that. But there is that thing that we were talking about, like trust your gut, like know when you're in a spot, and it's a good thing. It's a good lesson learned. I always felt like I learned a good lesson.
June is right though. Like Paul, I think that you really are spot on with your gut and your intuition and your instinct. So.
Oh, you're just to say. Pleasure working with you, Molly. It's been the best. It's been the best. All right. So even though we haven't really seen each other that much in the last 2 years because of this.
You know what? It's been I appreciate it. I love it.
I know, it's great. All right, great.
We've got Kendrick Lobstar on the line.
Kendrick Lobstar. You're just listening to Molly and our Love Fest. We're here.
That's okay.
It's the Call
That's awesome.
Paul show. It's the first time. Kendrick Lobstar, this is the first time we're doing it. After a few technical difficulties in the beginning,
Sure,
shit came together, and I feel like we're working. So, hold on, let me get you back.
am
here.
I too low? Yeah,
You're great.
You sound great.
okay, great, awesome.
We're gonna put up your headshot that you sent ahead of
Oh
time.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
great.
It's. I hope you've got the
We
right.
got the right one. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Surprisingly, not bad. Not bad.
All right.
So yeah, I feel like any caller, right? I should start with like, hey, longtime fan, first time caller.
Well, everyone's a first time caller today, so
I guess right. Yeah.
right, this is it.
No, I actually started listening to HDTH. Oh, there we go. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I started listening when I was stationed overseas. Actually,
Oh,
was
wow.
listening to like my
Where were you
my truck
stationed?
and all that. So I was stationed in South Korea for a while.
Okay, nice.
Before I came back to the States, yeah.
I've always
It's
wanted
not
to
as
do.
cool as it sounds.
No, I wanted to do the Pacific tour of when I did the USO. I always heard that the bases there are very lovely, and yeah. So anyway, all right, great. I don't know.
So I have, this is really weird to say, but I have like a small following on Twitter, right? Like 26,000 people maybe.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it sort of came out of nowhere. I've been doing this for a long time, just sort of like throwing out anything that made
Give
didn't
me
make
like an
sense.
example of one, and I'm not going to put you on the people follow that.
Okay,
But, like,
sure.
What was the last one you did? The last one you did, not like the best one.
The last tweet, or like the last major like notable thing.
Yeah, most notable. Yeah.
I air fried a hot dog for 2 hours and kept a live track of it, and pissed off the news by refusing to reveal who I really am.
Oh boy.
So yeah, so by way of background, right? So I've been running. I ran my whole life like you should. Like I joined the army, I went to college, I went to law school, and I hated it. So I jump on Twitter and I start being an idiot. And my first like big viral one was I wrote about a coworker of mine who worked at a movie theater. He was an absolute psychopath, and that actually got me in the door at UTA.
Oh, wow.
To do writing. I'll get there. So then I'm unemployed because like I don't want to be an attorney and not going to go back to the army. So I was like, you know what? I'll just spend at home for a while, live off my savings. I was making hot dogs for the kids. I got this fancy new air fryer, and I made like one extra hot dog and was like, you know what? I'll just let it run as long as I can.
Right.
So 2 hours later, I had kept track of this hot dog that basically entered the depths of hell. And stunk up the whole house. My wife was really upset. And then I rehydrated it for 18 hours to see what would happen.
How do you rehydrate it?
I just put in like a cup of water, I guess.
Okay, got it. All right, cool. All right, got it. I love it.
So that I get a kind of basic email from NBC, and I was like, yeah, I'll talk to you guys. And they were like, yeah, we really want to put this on the Today Show or whatever it was. But we need your real name and address. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. And they were like, right, but this is really great for exposure. And I was, yeah, I don't care that much. This is not my
right. I'm not
like,
trying
my boss
to be
doesn't know.
Yeah.
My birth name's not Kendrick Lobstar, right? I'm not.
Yeah, of course.
So I know. I'm sorry.
Lobstar is your last name. I know that, but Kendrick is definitely
Yeah. So I mean, over Twitter has been really great. I've built up a great back and forth with people. It's gotten me into like hobbies and stuff. But with this UTA, right, I've met a really great agent. We've had some really great conversations.
Who
the
is
reason
it?
I'm going to ask, should I say who it is?
You should say who it is, or maybe you shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know what the etiquette is. All right.
I don't know. I'll just say his name is Bill from UTA.
Okay, got it. Okay, Bill from UTA.
And he's been really great, and he prods me every once in a while to send him stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a writer. I'm not an actor. I did like drama in high school. But I've always found myself wanting to, be that Paul Scheer, be on the stage, do that thing.
Yeah.
But with a history of being told like, no, you have to do the right thing. You got to go to law school. You got to get, all your, your bills in order and that kind of stuff. I find it really hard to write. I'll write a scene that I end up deleting because it sucks, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I think it's funny, and then the next day I read it, and it sucks. You've been in this a long time, right? I've seen, the stuff you put out. How do you get over it? How do you find your, like, is that a matter of, do you think it's, being too hard on yourself, or do you think it's a matter of
I think there's a couple things at play, right? If you always are starting back from page 1, you're never going to get to the end, right? And there's a great lesson in the sense of complete it. And we were talking about that with our first guest, which is just like, do it. Like, you're going to write a script, you're going to write a scene. Don't critique it until it's done, because sometimes you can't see what it will be until you get the first draft. Like the vomit draft is like something that people talk about a lot. Just get it out there. Like, sit down, write, figure it out, go backwards. Like, the best thing about writing is you can keep on going backwards and forwards and working on things. But if you don't put pen to paper, and if you don't start and finish something, like, for example, I'm working on a big project. Molly has been helping me with this project. I can be very honest about it. I'm writing a book, and that was a super daunting thing for me to do. And I talked about it, I thought about it, but it wasn't until I sat down and I was like, I have to write something. I have to prove to myself, before I can even go off and talk about this or try to pitch it, I need to prove to myself I can do it. And I sat down and I said, I'm going to write 3, chapters, 3 essays of this thing. It's a memoir.
Sure.
But I'll tell you this much. I sat and I was like, oof. And then I went back and I was like, okay, well, maybe this and that. And I went back again. And then I got into a place that I felt pretty good about. And then recently, when I was doing like some rewrites and retooling, I went back and looked at them. I was like, oh boy, this needs so much work, because the essays I wrote after that got so much better that I was able to look at my first essay and then go back and fix it. So like, there is this ability of like, I would have never have gotten to essay 8 or 9 if I didn't finish essay 1, right? And so it can be as simple as you going, look, especially for a young writer, in the sense of experience, not age. I mean, you might be a young person as well. I don't know.
My voice, I promise I'm not a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah, but I think like the most fun that you can do is find ways to distinguish yourself. Like when Mike Schur, who is, ran The Office with Greg Daniels and created Parks and Recs and all this sort of stuff. Like, he hired interesting people like Megan Anram off of her Twitter account and a short story she wrote. And he hired other people off of like a comic book. Like, what were the things that they were doing that made them stand out? Like, there's been all these stories like, oh, well, there's that one writer who got a lot of attention because they wrote a Full House spec script where, I'm not advocating this. I'm just saying where like the twins got their period, right? And that was a script that was passed around Hollywood because it was like, oh my God, that's so crazy. So like, they did the assignment of writing a spec script that was funny, but then taking a subject matter, because it's like, well, they'll never make Full House. But if you even did that for yourself, if like, I don't know what you want to write, like I think that you should write in some sort of TV or film or something, like, but just do one full thing, and maybe a spec script is the way to go. I can write an episode of Always Sunny. I can write an episode of whatever your favorite show is, and start there. But just finish it. Just finish it.
Do you? So to that question, I guess, do you tend to find that you'll write? How do I want to explain it? I don't necessarily know. Like, so part of this big thing with UTA was transforming that thread about this very real person. To like these comedic, like extending it out, right? But I find that very difficult because for here, I look at something like The Office or Parks and Rec, right, where they're really great, but they're very much sort of the same format, the same idea. I don't necessarily find it. I think it's funny in a Twitter thread. Like I can understand why people like Megan Amram have gotten those. I can understand why people reached out to me. Do you think that is it worth just sort of writing 2 different versions of the same story? One like focusing on this one person or making that a smaller part? It's kind of an esoteric question, I guess.
Well, it's
but
like
I look at
you
something
feel
like
passion with. Like, look at Zola, right? Zola was 140 tweets or whatever it was, and then that became a movie, and you watch what the difference between the tweets are and then what the movie is. Now, obviously, that's Zola's telling you about an adventure, right? Like, that's something that happened. Now, if you wanted to write that as a movie, find a defining event and, because you're saying like, well, do you want me to write like an office, do we need another ensemble office?
Right. Do we
thing?
need a movie theater version of The Office? Right.
But has there been a movie theater version of The Office?
I guess that's a fair point, counselor.
Right. I mean, but we've seen Taxi, right? I mean, going back to Taxi,
Okay.
but I mean, but like, look at all the types of sitcoms. We've seen them in the bar. We've seen them in a cab company. We've seen them in a paper mill. We've seen them in a political office. We've seen them in a cop, precinct.
Right.
We've seen, so yes, that is a genre, like an ensemble sitcom in a location, but the location sometimes is the most attractive thing. It's like, oh, that makes it different. Like, yes, we all know what an ensemble thing is. It's like, it's ensemble comedy, friends hanging out, or it's, friends and enemies at work, or it is relationship based, right? Like that's like, it's like roommates or husband and wife and family. Like, so it's like, those are like, that's about it. And then if you got like the outliers, like in Atlanta or, something like that. But I mean, but like what we do in Shadows, the only difference is, yes, it's funny, but the only difference is like it's vampires. It's vampires who live together instead of Joey, Monica, and Rachel. It's just they happen to be vampires,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super helpful, and it's also very strange talking to someone that I'm going to go listen to on a podcast.
No,
but like, no, I mean, this is great. I think Portable Jeff in the chat makes a really good point. That's like, well, Paul's saying you should have gone on the Today Show. Yeah, probably.
No. I'm not saying that. You shouldn't have gone on. But what the Today Show makes you like the woman with the potato chip that has Ronald Reagan's face on it. That doesn't do anything for you. You want to be a writer?
Done that. All right.
Well, look. I mean, look. What's Its Mission wrote this. It's like if you're having interest from one of the big agencies like UTA, you should be. That's big, right? They see something there that they can figure out. And if you can't figure it out, maybe you can do it with somebody else. My buddy, my good friend, Justin, he wrote Shit My Dad Says, the tweet, the tweet stream.
Sure.
An amazing guy. He's behind right now the Harley Quinn animated show. They took his tweet stream and they made it into a show that he was not the showrunner of, that he had very limited control over because he was a newbie writer, and they just kind of said, we're going to pair you with this person, and that person's going to create the show, and that's going to be the show. But it gave him this amazing opportunity. Now he has this giant production deal. His show just premiered last night, Abbott Elementary, with Quinta Brunson. Quinta Brunson, a young, writer, BuzzFeed writer who is doing comedy, writes a show about a school. I just think it's like, don't worry about creating the best idea. Create the best characters. Have fun with it, and that will make it unique and different. Your POV will make it unique and different.
That's definitely yeah. I guess I wasn't thinking about it from that perspective, right? It doesn't necessarily. I'm trying to write the best thing, not the thing that I can send off to say like, here's my idea. Damn.
Yeah, and by the way, here's the other thing too. But by the way, like you sit and you like, I think also there's a lot of people are saying like, what's a spec script? A spec script is just like no one's paying you to write it, so they call it like.
Speculation.
It's speculation.
Right?
Yeah. So
Speculation?
It's like you're just kind of like I'm showing off my wares. I'm doing this for free. No one's paying me. But for you, like just sit down and go like I'm gonna write like 3 1-pagers of what this can be. Like a 1-pager, just like I'm gonna write out like this is the world. Maybe you take that character and you put him into your army world. You put it into that army base. Like, have you seen a show there? Like, is the character so specific to a movie theater, or is the character just an interesting character that can be in any environment? And then all of a sudden, there's an interesting story. Here's a guy who, used to be in the military, who is writing a very story about his perspective, his experience there, and you can use your army things, and the same thing with taking your army friends and putting them in the movie theater. Like you don't have to make it like it's not a docudrama. Like you don't have to be like, well, that happened and the counter was in that spot and that was there. Like lose all that. Just keep the characters and the fun.
I appreciate it. This is that was actually useful. I think I just needed to hear somebody that was like, hey man, don't be dumb.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm January 1st, I'm gonna air fry more hot dogs.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I thought I was a little bit worried when you said that UTA expressed interest about, and I was like, the hot dog? Do they want you to write a spec script about the hot dog?
Maybe a little bit, but
no.
No. Listen, I'll write it. They want me to write it. I'll write it.
I get it all day. But
I appreciate
it. Finish it, and know in this. And I always say this too. I'm giving you all my tips, but writing is just the first step, and no one hands in a first draft. That's the draft they shoot. You know,
Right.
it's just not the way it goes. It's just not the way it goes.
And
So,
Kendrick,
yeah.
I'm gonna expect your script on my desk by next week.
Yeah,
So
thank
if
you,
you
Alright.
just
Molly. Hand it to
DM
Molly.
that to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will shoot it over to you. I'll send you the hot dog tweet as well.
All
Okay,
right.
great.
This is great. I love it all.
Yeah.
All right, great. Molly, who do we got next?
We have Mooch. Hi,
Okay.
Mooch. Which is coming in now.
I like it.
Mooch.
People, get in here. Get in. If you're not calling in, get in
All
here.
right.
All right.
Okay,
What do we
there's
got?
Mooch. Hi, Mooch.
Oh, Mooch. What do we
Gotta
got?
there
Yes.
we go.
Hi. Hi, Paul.
Hi. What's going on?
Hey, my name's Cheryl, and I'm calling in actually for my husband and I. We've been tuning into he's been tuning into your Twitch show every week
Oh,
since you
nice.
started. And he just wanted to thank you for starting the show.
Oh, nice.
It's helped him through the pandemic a lot.
I love that.
And he introduced me to How Did This Get Made?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, when we went to the Portland live show.
Oh, that
About
was a crazy show.
two,
That
two,
was
two, two.
22222. I mean, that was it. That I felt like the roof was gonna blow off that place. That was a fun, crazy show. I was like, wow. I remember that one. Yes. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, yeah, no, it was amazing. And I've gone back and listened to now all of the How Did This Get Made shows. And probably have heard more than he has. So
Wow. Thank you.
yeah, I also listen to June, Diane's, and Jessica's
The deep
podcast
dive.
every
I'm
week.
forbidden to listen to
Yeah.
it. Forbidden.
Are you?
I am. I'm forbidden to hear it.
Yeah,
And,
you still make appearances, Paul.
well, you know
Right?
what? I
Take the
did.
hit.
Yeah. Oh, look, I can take the hit. I have nothing. I can be on it. I can't listen to it.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna give her a heart attack one day.
Or she's gonna stab me because she got so scared. I make sure I don't scare her when she has any utensils in her hand.
That's good. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead. For people who
no,
don't
it's
know,
okay.
for people who don't know,
Okay.
I was kind of cleaning out my office and I had some Halloween costumes. And June gets scared very easily, so I grabbed this Jason mask that was in my hand as I was walking by her office, and I know, it's my own thing that I just love scaring her. So I just threw on that mask, and then I just stood in her doorway, and her doorway is glass, so I was able to be peering through the door, and she went freaked out, and I was laughing, so I was like fell over in the kitchen because it was such a crazy freak out. I walked out of the room, went back into the kitchen. She started recording the episode, and I was like, I should do it again. And then I there's another door to her office, and I walked through that one just boldly and with that same mask, and boom, got her again. And now I'm like, this is great. And then within a second, I was able to go around to the window at her office from another angle and hit her with it again. So in the same podcast, 3 or 4 times, I get her with the same mask within 15 minutes of each other. And each time is equally shocking. She's not prepared for it any single time.
I love that.
So much so,
Her.
I will tell you this, and I'm talking too much, but I will tell you this. I brought June for a romantic anniversary. We were gonna go do something special, and with the kids, it's always a little tricky because they were young and we didn't want to be away too long. But we were like, let's just go to this nice hotel. We'll have a nice dinner. We can go to bed and then essentially just sleep in. So we were getting a hotel so we can just not get up at 6 a.m. for one night for our anniversary. And I find this cool little boutique hotel that has a bar and music, and it's awesome. But it's very old Hollywood. And I walk in there with June, and June thinks I'm bringing her into an immersive haunted house. And starts treating all the employees at the hotel as if she's in an immersive haunted house. And I'm and everyone's playing along.
No.
And it's not. No, this is not a bit. This is not a bit. And she did not believe me that it was not a bit until we were in the room for, I would say, at least 10 minutes. So yes, that's what I've created in my wife. Somebody who thinks like that I would bring her to an immersive haunted hotel, which is amazing. So, but there you go. Sorry, go ahead with your question. I'm sorry.
That. Oh no, I was just we have a daughter who's young, so I totally understand just wanting to go somewhere else and being able to sleep in for a night.
Sleeping in is glorious.
It is. It really is. I would want to ask, like, and this has probably been asked by everybody before, but what's your favorite character that you've played,
Oh wow,
and
that's a
why?
really good question. For me, you know what? I think I have different things that I like for different reasons.
Mhm.
All right. I will say that currently, right now, my favorite character was what I got to do on Black Monday, because
Mm.
what was different about that for me was there were consequences to my actions. And I
Right.
had been on shows where it's just the same character every week. Like I loved being Andre in the League. I loved that experience. I loved the cast. I loved everyone there. To be able to improvise, and whatever you're improvising on set gets incorporated into the show. So like I
Mhm.
said I had a blog about magic or a vlog about magic, and then all of a sudden we were shooting that like 3 weeks later. And like I made a joke one time about clear hair, and that became like an episode. So like that
Right.
ability that you were like, I was writing episodes there, but I felt so good. But Andre was a character that stayed relatively static. And one of the biggest fights I had, and I talked about this on the Discord the other day, was when I was with Jama Mays. Jama Mays, incredibly funny actress from Glee and so many other things.
Mhm.
We were a couple, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so fun because I have like an ally now, like in the show. Like I have a partner," and that like felt like that opened me up to just do something different. And a lot of times in sitcoms, it's just like just go back to one. Every week, you're just going back to one. You're going back to one. So when they
Mhm.
kind of killed off her character or blinded her, it was such a bummer to me because I was like, fuck. I was like, I have been doing this show for 5 years. Like, give me a girlfriend, give me a wife for a little bit, because it just will give me like more storylines, and those storylines will be new things. But when you do a show for, I think honestly, after you do a show for 3 years, you're just kind of repeating storylines. Like, oh right, yeah, this is like that, but now this is the specific that's different. And anyway, all that to say, when I got Black Monday, it was originally pitched to me as, hey, can you come on and do the show? We'll put you on the poster and everything, but we're going to kill you off in the first season. And we're going to kill you off because you're closeted man who is dealing with so much stuff, and you get caught with your boyfriend, and it's going to wreck your career. And when you get caught with your boyfriend, you have to sell out your best friend, and then the pressure of selling out your best friend, you are about to, you take this pressure, it's too much for you, and you kill yourself. And I was like, holy shit, yeah, like I'm in. Yes, I want to do this, because I just thought like, wow, what a great story. I haven't gotten to do anything like that, and I knew that the writers of that, David Casp and Jordan Cahan, are just really funny, so I knew it was going to be funny and good. And I started doing that show, and in the course of the first season, I was like, I don't want to die. And they're like, we don't want you to die either. And we started talking about, well, how can we kind of figure it out? And then in the middle of the night, I think it might have been Casey. She might have said to David, how about that? Or David, there was somebody just pieced together a character that we could, if you haven't seen it yet, I won't be specific, but a character that could
No, I've
work.
seen it, yeah.
Oh yeah, great. So a character that could work. And what I loved about that was, I was like, oh, but now at the end of season 1, I still ratted out my friend. I still got caught with my boyfriend. And at the end of season 1, we all go in different directions. And now where are we? What are we doing? And there are certain things that are about my character that are not changing, but my character is also going through these high highs and low lows. So when I come back to New York, I'm now like having to be closeted again, and it was really tough. It's like all these different things. So it was like, that was like really fun for me to play. Like the comedy is great and everything like that, but as far as like an acting challenge, to do that over 3 years and find those little things, and it just gave me something to like reach out to and do. And and like, yes, I loved like characters I've created from Human Giant to like NTSF and all that sort of stuff. But that was to me like the most full character I got to really like walk through. And I will say one more thing, which is, and the best one-day experience I've ever had was getting cast to do something that no one would ever cast me to do, which is a fully tatted up drug dealer in this like kind of bizarro world in a movie called Arch Enemy, where I am just like, I'm in snakeskin boots and like tidy, not tidy white, maybe tidy whities, like, or
Tidy
no, red,
Reddies.
tidy reddies, yeah, red bikini boxer briefs, and it was just fun because it was just something completely different than I've ever done. And I think for me, I'm always trying to find those different variations of, oh, I don't want to do the same thing. I don't want to be Andre. I love Andre. I don't want to just do a character like that again. So like whenever I look at what my next thing is, I really want to make sure it's like, oh, that feels too similar, or I've been that territory. So very long-winded answer to that question, but there you go.
Yeah, I love it. When we saw the Black Monday too, we're like, oh, Paul, this is very exciting for him.
It was fun. Well, thank you for, yeah, no, it was like, and I love that show. And I just think it's so rare to get like those consequences. I think that's why, like, and I think, I don't know, as comedians, like you may be able to like be a little bit more flexible with it and stuff, but that's why I love watching Bob Odenkirk on Better Call Saul. It's like, oh, it's so fun to watch him like this character is growing and you have to find different things. I think it just challenges you, because especially coming back to a show all the time, it can get just boring. Like as fun and as exciting it is, but like there's a part, like I think from like season 4 to 7 on The League, I was like I didn't even know what the episodes were. Like, okay, in this scene Andre's upset about that, like I got it. Like, you know, it's like because you just knew it. But and that there's a freedom in that too, which is kind of cool. But yeah, thank you so much. It was awesome to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you. We've got tickets for tomorrow's
Ooh, that's
live
awesome.
show. So,
by the way,
yeah, we're
great,
very excited.
great reminder here, because I will
Yes.
I will tell you that, yeah, we are doing a live virtual show tomorrow. Tickets are still available. If you get your tickets today, they're going to be cheaper than they will be tomorrow for whatever reason. The movie is called Snowman's. It's available on Amazon Prime and Tubi, which is one of the best streamers. I believe it's a Hallmark movie, or maybe not, but it basically, she builds a snowman, it comes to life, and do they fuck? You'll find out. But yes, so tomorrow you just go to hdtgm.com for details about the live
People
virtual
will
show.
be able to watch the playback for a week after the show's done.
Amazing. Yes, so you can watch, so you can get your ticket now and watch it anytime you want, and you can watch it multiple times and all that good stuff. So we'll be live tomorrow. It'll be fun. It'll be actually really fun.
Amazing. I'm excited. Yeah, hdtgm.com. You can get all the deets there.
Yeah, I love it. And we're coming
in.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh,
sorry.
yeah, people wanted me to just mention. Go.
No, you go. You talk.
People are mentioning, yes, we're also going to be in Vancouver for the JFL Festival, and that's all the information for all of our live shows. And so far, there's not many. It's just JFL, a couple shows in LA, and which aren't even announced yet. But we'll be back. We'll be back. Omicron may be playing with our LA plans. Is that how you pronounce it, Molly? Omicron?
I think it's Omicron, but
Omicron. Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. I have damage case 91 here, but Paul, I was wondering if you could answer real quick for me. Holidays are coming up. Do you have any quick advice for avoiding conversations at the dinner table that are, appropriate?
Okay.
Racist,
yeah.
shitty?
Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. Here's what I would say that has been really kind of fun for me. I want to hear what you do for this, because Molly is incredibly smart. Molly is incredibly funny. And you get in these conversations with family members, and it can go south pretty quickly because they say things that are crazy. I have a very close relative who very casually said to me, like, well, Hillary Clinton wants to give women abortions at 9 months. And I was like, well, that's pregnancy. That is giving birth. But and I have to like kind of hold my tongue, and because I'm like, well, where do I want to go with this? And I don't, and sometimes I engage, and I got to pull back, because I think when I engage, and I feel like they're like, well, why are you so upset about it? I'm like, you gotta walk it back. So this is what I try to do. I try to gamify the holidays. So for the dinner table, because the dinner table is where you're trapped. So if there is something at the dinner table where you maybe everyone puts in, like you get some sort of a hat, a Santa hat, whatever it is, you could put in one thing that you were. I mean, this is a little bit of a stealing a Thanksgiving idea, but like,
Oh, we can be thankful all year long, Paul.
yeah, like what were you thankful for this year? Or you can give. This is the thing I thought was actually a very cool thing, which was, you put in the hat something that is important to you, like and this may walk a line. So I see, like, but it's sort of like, well, I guess, well, I'm gonna say it and Molly poke holes in it, which is like, if you like think like doing something for your local public schools is important, put that in the hat, and then someone's gonna get that, and you're gonna open them up to, like, that's the challenge for the year. You're going to get a chance to be like, oh, I got, you work for, so it's like, it's a charitable act that you can give to somebody. And so I can hear your passion about it, or I can get involved with something that I may not know about in my community or something like that. Like, go to it. Like, it's almost like, it's like a dare, a charity dare. Like, oh, did you work with the home? Like, maybe do something with the homeless community, or do something over here. Or like, and it gives people a chance to kind of find out a little bit about you. And maybe like what we do is you take out some of the more controversial issues, but maybe keep it community-based, local-based, and maybe that's a way to do that. I don't know, something like that. I like gamifying.
Oh, I did not think you were going to go in that direction, and I really appreciate it. That's very interesting. I like that idea, Paul.
What do you do to get out of stuff?
I usually just regress and become a child and have a meltdown.
Do you get into fights? Do you, like, with family members like that?
I mean, yeah.
Look,
just with like my mom, because I love her so much, and I
Right.
feel like she's allowed to see the like nasty side of me, but I really do become a little shit sometimes, and it has to do with like if I'm hungry and I haven't eaten.
Yeah, I get that
and I get
too.
tired and annoyed, but yeah.
I love
try
my
not to do
dad.
that.
I love my dad very, very much. He's such an important person in my life, as is my mom. But he voted for Trump twice, and it's something that I have to wrestle with, because it changes my opinion of, like, I don't, and look, I believe that everyone can have their own opinions about certain things, and the root of his opinion about that is simply around abortion, and yet there's so many other things that he does that contradicts with that, but that one thing overcomes it. And if I get caught in that rabbit hole and I try to like unpack it all, it, like, because I'm like, well, but you realize that if you are voting for that, you're also voting against the other 7 things that you are actively doing. And
Right.
like, you know, and it's like, and you get caught in a thing, and it's like, and what I find is I leave more upset and angry at them than
Right.
I would have. And I'm like, I'm not going to change their mind. I have to accept them for where they're at. And there are certain people in my life that I want in my life. And as long as they're not doing anything that is overtly bad to people or hurting anyone, and obviously that vote is, yeah, you can make all those cases. I understand that. I'm just saying, but people's politics are people's politics. And I'm not over turkey going to convince somebody that people should have the right to choose. Like, there's no, you know, but there we go. So
Agree with you.
that came up. The little subscription came up right there. right there. All right. So there you go.
Hi, Damage Case. How are you?
Awesome. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for listening to that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. How are you guys doing tonight? You guys
We're doing
all right?
good. Welcome to the first show. You are our first time caller. This is a first time show. We're excited to have you. It's been working out without our little hiccup in the beginning. It's been working out great. So yeah.
Hiccup.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious, by the way.
Yeah. I'm trying. You know, look, I'm on here trying to do bigger shows, and we had a bigger idea planned for other things, but we're here and we're doing this, and I love it.
That's an awesome headshot, Molly. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I mean, whoever took your picture did a great job. Babe.
Great job.
Very handsome.
Thank you very much. Anyways, all right. Right out the gate, Paul, How Did This Get Made is pretty awesome.
Thanks, man.
It actually inspired me and my friend Jenny to actually start our own movie podcast where we like
love it.
dissect movies and this and that, blah blah blah.
What's it
You know,
called?
it's pretty rad. It is called Movies at the Winchester.
I love it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
and
we're
that's,
pretty
and that's
stoked
from
to.
is that from like Shaun of the Dead?
Yes, it is. It's reference.
I love it. So good.
Yeah. Yeah, the Highlander episode, like I must have listened to that episode at least like 3 times because you guys just like shit all over Sean Connery, and I thought that was like pretty hilarious. Yeah. All right. All right. I got kind of a heavy question for you.
All right.
Or some advice.
All right.
Okay. So this year has been kind of, like not gonna dance around. It's been kind of shitty for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I went through like I don't know, like a deep depression, and yeah, I just yeah, like I don't know, I just like stayed home. I like wouldn't sleep in my room. I just like slept on the couch for like 3 months. I just
Yeah.
couldn't bring myself to my room, and yeah, I lost a lot of friends. Because like, well, in the end, they weren't really friends because like they just they made fun of me because of my depression, and they even went as far as making memes about me being depressed and whatnot.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
So not now it's cool. It's like I'm kind of over it now, but yeah. So my town that I live in, I used to go downtown all the time, and I know they just like they just hang out there, and like I can't bring myself to go out anymore. I just stay in and like watch YouTube videos. Just like watch movies. Just try and keep myself busy. As much
Yeah.
as I
Yeah.
can. And yeah, I'm sorry, like this is kind of like a hard subject to talk about, but I respect.
No, I'm giving you
Yeah,
space here to talk. Like, I thank you for sharing, and
yeah,
I appreciate this. I know it's hard, and whatever you want to talk about,
yeah,
you could talk about. You're
This
under
is a safe
no
space.
you safe space, and
yeah,
also take your time, do your thing. We're here. We're here.
yeah. Thank you for that. And like I admire the hell out of you, and like yeah, it just like so I'm kind of coming to you for this, you know.
Sure, man.
And I know
I'm
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're here, and we have a bunch of people in the chat. We'll help. We'll see what's going on. Let's see what happens.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'm just like trying to get like how do I leave my house? Because like pretty
Yeah.
much like yeah, I just like because I know like I used to go out every day. I had those group of friends, and like they like I don't talk to them anymore. I don't have any friends at all. As a matter of fact, like I have a few, but like they're all in LA, and
Yeah.
I'm over here in Riverside. So it's kind of a push to go hang out with them.
I understand. Yeah.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, this is like all
So
right. So look, first of all, let me say one thing, and we can keep on talking. And I want to make sure that if there's more to say, you have the space to say it.
yes,
But I
sir.
want to just say like people are in the chat saying like been there, had this
Mhm.
happen. Like so, you're not alone. I had like I can say that there's definitely moments where I've had those feelings. I haven't been through it. I don't know what that feels like exactly. But there are moments where I just want to be home, and I don't know why, and I know it's because I'm not in the right space to go out, and so where are you at? Like, are you not going out because you don't want to see them? Are you not going out because you don't want people to see you? Like, where, like, can you even get that?
It's
Yeah,
it's honestly like both of those things.
okay.
Like I don't want to see them. Because like I don't want them to talk shit on me and be like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
where you
yeah.
been? Oh, like and like they always just make fun of me. Like I said about my depression, they'd be like, and I could just hear them already. Like they're just like, oh, what? Like you're alive? Because like
Yeah,
I
man.
went through that dark of a stage,
Dude,
and
yeah.
yeah,
Well, first of all,
Breaks.
I want to say like you're here right now,
yeah,
and I know that you are not like here, but you are here. Like this is active. Like take a moment to like appreciate yourself for that. Like that's amazing. Like you are present, and you're not in your house, and you're communicating with people, and people are here supporting you, and that's awesome. Like that. Like I just want
yeah.
you to like take that victory lap of that. And and people are. I'm just gonna read you some things in the chat too, and just see what because I want to. First of all, people are echoing your friends are garbage. in different ways, and
Oh
I would
yeah.
say, yeah, hell yeah, of course. People are like, look, I do this too. I just fill time with the things that I enjoy or do on my own. Don't feel guilty if you don't want to leave your house. If you're feeling good, go for a walk and make the move to do more before you lose motivation. If not, stay home and watch YouTube videos and let yourself, like I think that what that was going that went by quick. Like don't feel bad about it.
Oh.
There's a bunch of great. If you look in the chat after we're done talking, you'll see a bunch of stuff here, and maybe even reach out to some of these people that are talking. I have not experienced this. Can I pitch something to you and tell me?
Yeah, absolutely, please.
Like,
Yeah.
tell me if this is like sheer. What the fuck are you talking about? Do you have a car? Or do you?
Yes, I do.
You do. Okay. So, like, I mean, would you ever be up for just being like, I'm just gonna I'm gonna do like a 2-day drive, or I'm just gonna would you even just do a drive? Like, you don't have to even get out of your car. You don't have to go see anyone or do anything, but you're just gonna maybe like go like just literally just give yourself like the simplest of errands. Like, I'm gonna go out until I see a bridge and then stop and then come back home. Like, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, would that feel insurmountable?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It sounds like I've been wanting to do that, but I don't know, my work schedule's kind of like messed up a little bit.
Yeah,
And
I hear you.
I know and like I have weekends off, but like I just I can't I can't bring myself to go out pretty much.
This is
And
why
like
this is why I don't want to be
yeah.
like I don't want to minimize this. I want to be like, no man, just do it. Just go out for a walk, do your thing. Like, I don't know, like that's like so that people are saying that nature is a big thing, like taking a walk in the woods.
Yeah.
Like if you do end up being able to get out and take a drive, I do recommend rolling the windows down a little bit, because I do think that there's something about fresh air that's really helpful when you're in that space.
Yeah.
I also, and this is something that I've been through deep depression, so I hear you, Damage Case.
Thank you.
Something that I did not want to ever hear, and I am relentfully agreeing with now, is that moving your body really helps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it's like, if you can go outside and take a little walk, that's great. Maybe, I mean, I don't know where you're at, if you're in a safe space, but like maybe go out at night when there aren't a whole lot of people around.
Mm-hmm.
If you are afraid of running into people, or just like putting on like a stretching video or like a dancing video or just something, so that it's hard to make that first step.
I'm
Yeah,
reading so many people who talk about this idea of like walking and moving your body, and I will say that the pandemic was really saved for me by that too. Like, and so like I may not be experiencing what you're talking about, this level of what you're talking about, but I can speak to what Molly was saying, which is like that exercise is important. Like that, and here's another thought too. Like, maybe when you go home after work, even if you have a messed up work schedule, like maybe there's a way that you can takes you out of the way. Like, you don't have to do an A to B, if that makes sense, or, to work, forget it, like you want to, probably leave at the last second, but maybe back home, like allow yourself, sit in park, get somewhere, see something, open the windows, like those things seem helpful,
Yeah.
And people are saying
Well,
that yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. I know, I was about to say like I was in that stupid deep depression, but I got a great job now, and that's really helping me. I have like electrician job, never
Amazing.
thought I would ever be, electrician ever in my life, but I just started like 2 months ago, and I freaking love it
I love it.
now, which is awesome. And me and my friend, like we're doing that podcast now,
I love
but
that too.
yeah.
Can I
by
make a
the way,
suggestion? Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
go,
I
Molly,
just
go.
wanted to make a suggestion, and it's a really small thing to do. I don't know if you like journal or write down your thoughts or whatever, but like get an index card and just write down a list of things that you're grateful for. Put your new job that's giving you life on it.
Mm-hmm.
Put this really awesome podcast that you're working on it.
Yeah.
It can be just really small things, but like remembering that there are like good things in your life is helpful for when you feel like there aren't any.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I want to say like two things to you as well. Like, first of all, your depression's not stupid. Like, don't minimize it. Like, this is not by choice. This is not like you are trying and you are feeling this way, and that's a valid thing. And if people don't get it, they don't get it. Clearly, right now, I'm looking at all these people here in this chat. So many people get it. So don't feel guilty. Like, don't add guilt to you not wanting to do something. Like, and on top of that, I just want to applaud you're talking about it with us in a group. You're doing a podcast. You have a fucking great job that you're liking. Like, these are great things. Like, you're doing amazing stuff. And maybe it's going to be like a slow, like, you come out, like, instead of like coming out like, I don't know if I'm off camera, but like you're like, you know, going off, I went off camera again. Instead of like going like, instead of like just making like a straight shot up, maybe you're just going to come up on a curve. Maybe it's like, yeah, these all seem like amazing steps. You don't have to get to 10. Like, just take it 1, 2, 3, you know, and like just build it slow. Like, you seem
definitely
like you're
one day at a time for sure.
Yeah.
In Damage Case, I know that it's like hard to see this like when you're in it, but I'm looking at this chat and yeah, we don't know you IRL. We don't know you. We don't hang out in a room with you, but you do have a lot of friends that are in this chat too. So it's like,
no, thanks. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that a lot.
yeah, like, love you. Big hugs.
Yeah.
It's gonna be okay.
It's common. We don't talk about it. We don't. And we have to normalize it. And I think when you do talk about it, I'll tell you, I can talk about it from one of these.
Yeah, it was hard to talk about it because like I was like shaking like when I first started talking about it, you know, and then like I was like shaking a little bit. I was like, oh shit, like am I doing like the right thing to actually talking about this, you know? Because like, because like there's been like cool stories all night, you know. I like been listening all night, and then like, you know, I just like then I was afraid of like bumming everybody out because like, you know, like because I'm gonna bring this issue up, you know.
Oh, this is life, man. Like, this is every single thing that we've talked about is a different aspect or facet of life. So I'm really glad that you did bring it up and talk about it. And honestly, I'm proud of you for kind of pushing through that fear and anxiety about like sharing that with us. That's
yeah. I think there's such a weird thing, and maybe it's an American thing. I don't know, but it's like we don't like to like bring people in to our traumas or what we're dealing with, and you know, we're so content to be like, oh, how you doing? I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine. Like, you know, it's like, and I think, you know, maybe the pandemic has opened that up a little bit for people like, dude, it's been rough, you know, or like, you know, but I do think I can speak about this in one way, which is when June got pregnant for the first time, we had a miscarriage, and I didn't know anything about pregnancy. It's so funny to me, like, because it was like I grew up on TV and movies, and I was like, you get pregnant when you want to get pregnant, and then you get the baby, and it's easy. And like, there's so many things I didn't know, and like I feel like so stupid for never like understanding like the grander scheme of like what is going on. But one of the things that we found when we had that miscarriage was like, so many people have a miscarriage. So many people don't talk about it. So many people don't normalize like this thing. And it's like it's very, very common. And people don't.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that too.
Oh no, I think I mean it's like, but people don't like. The more that you talk to people, and the more that people respond to you in a positive way, not like your friends who, you know, are making memes about you and stuff like that. Like you're gonna find that crew. You're gonna find that community, and that's gonna help you, if not heal, at least be surrounded by people who get it. And I swear to God, like, go back and read this chat, just because there's so many things I'm seeing. I'm seeing podcasts. I'm seeing what other people have done. I'm seeing other people talk about, like, there's so much in here for you that might just trigger something. But I am proud of you for being here talking and all the things that you're doing, which is really great.
Well, thank you very much, man. That actually means a lot to me. And yeah, like I felt like, you know, like I felt comfortable coming to you, you know, because I see that you help people, you know, like I've like listened to like your mini episodes and stuff, you know, and like, and like I said, like I admire the hell out of you, you know, and like
you're lovely to say it, man.
Like,
thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Well, we're all here for you, and we're rooting for you, and you know, we'll be listening to Movies at the Winchester, and I'm psyched that you have this great job. So yeah, great to talk to you.
Thank you, Damage Case.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. Also, I got tickets to go see you guys at the Largo.
Whoa.
I'm actually pretty stoked for that.
Oh,
Actually,
dude,
my
like,
that's gonna be
gosh.
great. Oh, that's gonna be awesome. Tell
That's
me your name again.
awesome.
yeah. Huh?
Tell me your name one more time. Or
My
you don't want to?
my
Do you not want to? You don't have to.
my screen name or my real name?
Just say your first real name. The first of
Uh,
your name. Yeah, the first of your names.
Jonathan.
Jonathan. All right, thanks, man. Just write that down.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Awesome, man. Well, I'm excited. That would be a fun one. And guess what? I'll tell you. You know what? Because you called in, I haven't told anybody this. I'm not going to announce it live. Nicole Byers is going to be our special guest on that show, so you get to see Nicole. So there you go.
Sick. Awesome.
You got some
See you
inside
there,
scoop. We'll see you there.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. All right, thank you guys.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
All right. This is great,
All right,
Molly.
Paul.
This is great.
You have it in you for one more to talk to
Yeah,
West
I
Bay
think so.
Monument?
Yeah. Let's see what we got.
West Bay Monument has been gifting out a lot of subs tonight.
I've seen West Bay Monument popping up in here before. Thank you, West Bay Monument. Like, well, welcome to the show.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think West Bay Monument may have participated in screen test. We'll see once they're here.
All right, great. Let's see.
Hi, West Bay Monument.
Hey, can you hear me?
We
Yes,
can.
hi.
Oh,
Hi.
sweet. Okay. The little accept thing doesn't go away.
Thank
Hi,
you for,
y'all.
Thank you,
How
by
y'all
the way.
doing?
We're doing great, and
Hey.
thank you for all the gifting and all the things and all that sort of stuff. This is great. We're so excited. The chat's excited that you're in here. This is great.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. Okay, sorry. I've got chat on my phone on the table while I'm facing a computer with like a boom mic in my face. So I'm like, where am I looking? Can I see anything at all? Yeah, it's if you had told me I would be doing that, like putting subs in some internet chat room for complete strangers, a couple years ago, I probably would have been like, "Oh, are you paying for it? Because I'm not."
I cannot believe it. I feel honored. I feel truly honored.
Well, that's the thing. Like I've heard, I wasn't gonna actually call in until I was halfway through hearing about the person who now is in Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
Going and yeah, so I'm from there originally. I grew up around lots of entertainment, a lot of there's always something to do in the DC area, and this is like growing up before the year 2000, like the late 90s.
Right.
In DC area, so there's awesome concerts, so much to do. Growing up there, there are so many opportunities for you, and you are totally right. Just put yourself there. It doesn't matter what you do while you're there. People will start to see you attending these things over and over again and going to that place over and over again, and you'll meet people and you'll learn their names, and it will kind of happen naturally. And it's funny that you mentioned Arch Enemy, because that's my sort of letting it happen naturally. My friend Lana was one of the editors of that film.
Oh wow.
And I got to she's fantastic. She's worked on a ton of different movies, TV shows, all sorts of stuff. But so I got to see the like special secret clips that you had done for them.
Yeah.
The weird,
Right.
like, bartending videos or secret
Oh my gosh,
videos.
yes.
Yeah, those I have screenshots of that, and I'm like, I need to figure out if I can get that YouTube link because
my
it's
gosh,
seriously
so silly.
amazing.
That was like,
But
I
I wouldn't have.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I wouldn't have known Lana if it hadn't been for just going to the movies being the only thing I could do when I moved to Texas maybe 8 years ago. I moved to Austin. I was super excited because of Alamo Drafthouse being here. I love the movies. I've always gone. I used to drive like an hour and a half to get to the nearest Drafthouse where I was in Virginia at the time. So, moving to Austin, I was like, oh man, I'm going to go to the movies all the time.
Yeah.
I did. I also started going to Fantastic Fest, which was a independent film thing they do down there. Great festival. And I just went every year. I didn't really know anyone. I met a bunch of people on the internet, and I was like, I guess this is my people now, because I didn't know anyone when I moved here, and it's great. And you go every year and you start to learn people's names, and then you just start to help other people out when you see they're confused about what to do, where to go. And you end up befriending people that you don't know who they are, what their background is. You're just standing next to them in a line and you start bullshitting to each other, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up meeting Lana. Her husband had a film there. I helped him get a tattoo at Fantastic Fest just because, you know, I was like, yeah, I can help you through that process. It's no big deal. They're really swamped. And we ended up staying in touch. Now we play Fallout 76 together most nights.
I love that.
You know, these people, Lana being his wife, you know, were with me on my 40th birthday. We went to a Mega Mart in Vegas this year. It was amazing. You know, all these great things just from being the person who's always there and just, you know, ready to listen, ready to help, ready to learn something. You know, and now I work on the side for Fantastic Fest. So it's, you know,
amazing.
All of these things from being there and making it your priority to be there.
Yeah, right. It's I think we're talking a lot about community, right? Like we are like I think a lot of this stuff is like revolving around finding that like that group. It's such an it's finding your
and
people
it takes
is so
time.
important. Yes.
Yeah, it takes time. I had to do this. The hardest thing about moving here to begin with was I didn't really know anyone here outside of a very small group of people that was also moving from Virginia to Texas. And it had taken me like 8 years, something like that, where I had lived to develop that community. I was in several bands, you know, playing at festivals, all sorts of stuff. And it just, it ended when I moved out here.
What's
I had,
the worst
you know, nothing.
band name? What's the worst? I'm sorry to detour you, but
Oh, God.
what was the worst band
Okay.
name? Not the worst band, the worst band name.
Worst band name that I was of a band that I was in.
You were in.
Oh boy. So okay, yeah, that's easy. Oh God, I hope they're not listening. It was Cake and Rice.
Cake and Rice, great. I mean, the band could
Cake
be
and
great.
Rice.
Cake and Rice. The band could be great.
Oh
the
God.
name, yeah. The name could be that. That's so Cake and Rice. That we don't have
Oh,
to.
for fuck's sake. Yeah.
All right, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really feel like, I mean, you did the thing that is incredibly hard, which is having a life, having friends, and then moving away from all of that. I mean, that's difficult.
Yeah, it wasn't really a choice. I mean, I'm in the software industry by day and all of the movie stuff by night and on vacation. So it's basically like two halves of my life that I'm just trying to make happen. And it takes a lot of time. And yeah, when you move from one place to another like that and you're kind of cut off from everything, it's up to you to do something about it. And I've been at home. It's funny, I went through this crazy traumatic period in 2018. My mom and I both had relationships, you know, marriages end very abruptly and very harshly at about the same time, which is insane.
Wow.
And I essentially just shut myself off from everything and everybody. I did not leave the house for months at a time. Physically did not leave the house for months at a time. Didn't know how to process anything. After, you know, some therapy on and off and some self-study and discussion with people that I care about, I figured out what it was that was keeping me from going outside. There was a lack of trust in people around me after that. And that's powerful, you know, because if you can't trust people that you know, then what the fuck is that guy that's like pissing right outside of the, you know, egg slut in Venice? Like, oh, yeah, that's, okay.
Yeah.
I can't trust that guy. That's for fucking sure. So yeah, it's so hard to get yourself to go out, but you have to give yourself a reason. My reason was definitely Fantastic Fest. My friends that go to that festival, or, you know, those friends like Lana that I have who were coming in, you know, I made people that I care about my reason. You know, that was really, I had to think about what really motivated me away, and every single time it was going to spend time with a friend that was far away, and it was like gave me a reason. And all of that started to wrap up and feel a little bit better right around when the pandemic hit.
Oh.
So So after like over a year of being inside by myself for the majority of the time, then the pandemic, and I was like, oh, this is old news, man. I got this. I'm like home staying champ of the century at this point.
Yeah.
So, but it's hard on you in different ways, you know. You've got a whole different set of worries and something like that. But you know, whatever your reason needs to be, dude, damage case, um, find it and stick to it and discipline yourself to it. Even when it's hard, even when it sucks, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, etc. Just do it. You'll thank yourself later. Mine was other people and a dog that I randomly took in right before pandemic.
Well, like I was gonna say, a dog is a very
Hooking you up.
yeah.
Oh, dogs. Now I have a really wonderful person with me that, you know, met through this thing called Master Pancake, which is Austin's Mystery Science Theater. Yeah. So I'm really close and tied in with them. I do their pre-shows, their moderations, things like that. Their video pre-shows like Alamo style, so much fun. And I met him through that community. And so it's all about just being there, and you don't know who else is there that you're talking to, and what opportunities there are. I know it sounds really doe-eyed and wishy-washy, but you know, after the last 20 years of my life, you could have told me that getting out of college, but I don't think I would have believed it.
You know, you're 100% right, and I think you're the real life example of this is a beautiful way to kind of wrap up the show, because you are living almost everybody's experiences here, right? Like you are, and I think we are talking about the simple act of like having friends, having community, going out is hard. It's not easy. Like, and that's okay to admit that. Like, but I think that we are, you know, and you have to cultivate it. Like I always say, like, even in a relationship, like, a romantic relationship, like you have to go through ups and downs, because you're constantly changing and you're hopefully growing together, but separately too. But you have to tend to every relationship. And it's sometimes easy to get selfish. And I'm not saying depression is selfish, but there's sometimes where you're like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to be, and so sometimes it's where you're at fault and you're like, I don't want to go out. And then sometimes where other people are at fault. But like for me, and fault is a word that I'm not really meaning to be like in a bad way, but like to me, like last night, like last night I got invited to this MacGruber premiere. They're doing the new MacGruber show, which, by the way, get ready. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's great. If you like MacGruber, I mean, it's just MacGruber, and it's so good. But I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to be with people because it's going to be, you know, Omicron, whatever. I'm like, I got nervous, and I was like, and by the way, a very good reason not
terrifying.
to go out. Terrifying. But I also have spent like 2 years, like not really seeing large groups of people. I've been doing this show with my buddies that we used to do at UCB. Now that's gone. That weekly thing is gone.
Oh,
but
oh my God. Is John Daly Kills It gone? Don't tell me it is.
Well, the UCB, and I'm not announcing anything that this is me just talking as I have no inside information. As far as I know, there is no UCB. We have not gotten a letter to tell us what's happening with UCB. The UCB has not announced that they're doing any shows. The UCB are performing.
That makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah, they're performing at Sketchfest. But the benefit is we have an amazing theater out here called Largo, which has comedy and music. Dynasty
it's amazing.
Typewriter.
I go out there a lot. Going to LA was actually the place that I would go.
Yeah.
Like the people that I wanted to see and befriend, that's where it was. And we would go to Satellite and Largo.
Yeah. Satellite, Largo, Dynasty Typewriter is doing amazing stuff.
Yes.
There's all these like little independent comedy theaters popping up. And the community that UCB built is still thriving in different places. And but I will say that like Largo, getting to do shows at Largo again has been so much fun. And I'm like finally finding
that's awesome.
like, you know, it's so great. But I was like holding myself back, and like in the middle of the day, whatever it was, I was like, I'm going to go because I want to see my friends. And like, I'm like, well, but I talked to them, I text with them, And I got to tell you, like, I felt so good going just to see people, like, and it was a kind of normal, like, I mean, let me tell you, to get into this fucking event was insane. You had to, obviously you had to be vaccinated, and you had to get a special barcode before you even showed
having
up.
just run an in-person film
Oh, yeah.
festival and deal with that exact thing and all of those regulations in Texas, which is super fun.
God, yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. God,
The
it's awful everywhere.
The screening got started 2 hours late because everyone had to do a rapid test and wait for the results. So, like, every single person, and by the way, loved it. Great. Like, I'm not complaining about it. But it was like, these are the precautions and this is the thing. And like, and I'm so happy. And I was like, well, I'll just maybe go to the after party for a second. I'll maybe just go there for a second. And I just
for a
hung
second.
out, and I saw everything. And I saw people. I had a great time, and it just was like, it's just good. But it's like, look, even me, and I consider myself like an introverted extrovert. Like, I prefer to be home, but I also do a lot of things where that you would be like, that's so not true. But anyway, people are saying too that UCB is doing online classes and have online class shows.
Awesome.
So that's good.
Oh, God, I'm so happy.
And people also, and people are also, go ahead, Molly.
In the stage chat, Richard Ballshaft says, social engagement is a muscle. You have to exercise it.
Yes.
It's so true.
So deep, Richard Ballshaft.
I with that name, you don't expect it to be that deep. But I really appreciate this call in the sense that you are living that life, and I think we all experience it. I get lucky. I feel like I when I talked about the pandemic a lot, like I talked about, like, I felt lucky because I had kids and a dog, in the sense that
fucking true.
It's like I couldn't go too low because I had to be there for my kids, and also they wouldn't let me go too low. And there were days where we were in our pajamas all day and whatever, but you got to kind of show up. And even for the dog, like, even in a day where I'm stressed out, I walk my dog, and I got into like working out at home, like figuring out, well, I can't go to the gym. Not that I'm a gym rat, but I was like, how can I do this? How can I make myself find these breaks? And like, part of the gym for me was just a break from the monotony of my day. Like, I'm going to leave this desk. I'm going to leave this other room.
Go to that room.
Yeah, go to another room. But I have a date
10
to
feet
be
away.
there. Yeah, I have a date to be in the other room to work out for 30 minutes.
It's very important. I can't be late.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's like, it's all these like little tricks, but I think we're all saying the same thing, which is like, find your people. Your people will find you, and you said one thing that I want to just like follow up on too, which is about trust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I totally hear what you're talking about, like how hard it is to trust people when you feel like you've been betrayed and you've been hurt. But I also think there's two sides to that. Like, first of all, everyone is different. And maybe that pissing guy in front of the egg slut is the nicest person in the world. But no, but
he could have been.
Could have been.
He was showing a lot of himself. Really revealing a lot of himself. Then
look, he's so free to pee on the street. But there's also something about, like, I look back at some of the relationships I had, toxic relationships that I had, and I was a different person too. And that break forced me to grow. So. Yes. Yes.
It sucks.
It sucks.
But
it's
critical. Yeah.
But I'm so happy that I mean, it's like hindsight, whatever. It's like, I'm so happy I'm out of that. And there's a world where maybe that's where I get my most anxiety, is thinking like, what if I didn't do that? Like, I stopped a paying gig. I know. It's like, that's the shit that gets me crazy. It's like we talk about, like, these opportunities that you don't know. Like, what if you didn't talk to that person on the line? What if you didn't meet Lana there because,
what if, it just, and it's funny. I always been a huge fan of you, Rob Hubel. Like, all the people who come here are people. When I learned that this was happening, I was like, oh my God, how have I missed any of these? Because it's just, I'm a huge fan. But I didn't think that I would ever get to talk to you again after singing Whitney Houston to you in Austin.
Oh my gosh.
At Moody Theater.
You did amazing.
Which I was really sad. I was really sad that they said that I was really singing to you in a way that June would not approve of, because I love June.
Oh,
And
no,
damn it, how
no,
dare
no! You
you.
did
How
that.
dare
No,
you.
how dare you? That was not that. No one. No, that's
Yeah,
no. That
no,
was that.
no.
No one got that. That was.
Yeah.
That was
I
so
was like,
fun.
that is weird.
No, you sang it.
But yeah.
By the way, you need a focal point. We all saw it with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper that you need a focal point sometimes. You need to get in there. You gotta drive it to somebody. Well, this has been amazing talking to you. Thank you so much for
Thank
all
you
your
so
support here,
much.
for all the work that you did for
Yeah.
Master Pancake, these great things, being down in Austin, running Fantastic Fest, gifting subs, doing all this sort of stuff. We salute you. And now forever I'm
Well-
holding this headshot as your face. That's the only bad part of this
That's
headshot.
okay. That is not what I sent Molly, and I'm so glad.
And no, the dumbest bit tonight was this.
Uh.
Like this, Molly and I were joking around about this. And now I feel like I've made personal connections with many of people here, and I only are going to remember their dumb headshot. It's like the
No,
like,
it's
I've
good.
associated everyone with their dumb headshot.
I think she's doing me some serious justice with that one, to be honest.
That's so good.
Pretty close, though.
This has been really great. Thank you for being here, and thank you for actually wrapping it all up. You brought it all together.
I'm just realizing now they had DM'd me directly their picture for the headshot, and I didn't realize that's what that was.
Oh my God.
These are just headshots. I googled headshots and pulled up a picture. That's it.
That is amazing. All right, I hope you liked the show. Maybe we'll do that again. I thought that was actually a lot of fun. And if you want to join in on Discord so you can make sure you don't miss out next time, just go to discord.gg/Paul Scheer. And if you like what you watch, just like, subscribe, do all the things that you do on YouTube. You know what's going on. It's like telling somebody at the end of an answering machine message to like leave your name. We get it. You're watching YouTube. You're functional.